And there it is. All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here. It is Tuesday night comic book hangout. Why not? It's just, I don't know. I just wanted to talk some comics with some guys. So I sent out some messages, and Dope Comics from the channel Dope Comics, and then Hagen from the channel Lettuce Comics both agreed to come and join me. So gentlemen, welcome and thanks for being here. Happy Tuesday.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to meet you.
No, nothing's going on. Nothing's going on. I'm just living the dream, wishing it was a little later in the week, but trying not to wish my time away, you know? We already have some friends in the chat, so let's say hi here. There's Eric from SideQuest Comics. Hey, Eric. One of my favorite names to say. It's Big Nasty Comics. Love that guy. We got Belazard. Christopher Parker. Oh, JSS, thanks for being here, buddy. And K Munin, how are you? And there's your friend and mine, Mr. Steve Driscoll. If you haven't seen, Steve put out not one, not two, but three Christmas episodes yesterday. I've been able to watch 1.5 of them, and they are absolute gold. He does trumpet intros and shows off books. And he inspired me. I've got a pile of Christmas comics. I'm going to do mine a little closer though. Like I wanted to yell at him and say, you know, like, it's not even Thanksgiving, Steve, but I couldn't.
He's doing the early bird Christmas special.
He is. He absolutely is. So I brought some books. I brought a couple, actually a couple of modern ones just to like kick it off. Some one I just got last week, and I wanted Dope, you said you passed on this one, and I don't know if anyone else. I really enjoyed it. I don't know anything about the Energon universe, okay? And G.I. Joe was like the new hot book. There were like 40 freaking covers of this thing. This one's just, I almost always just go with the A cover. But I have regret already that there was a Cobra Commander cover drawn by, what's his name? Lee Bermejo. And that thing was awesome. And so I called my LCS and said, hey, can I get one of those in my polls? And they couldn't get me one. So I'm going to have to get one. Knowing nothing about the Energon universe, I really liked this. I mean, I am like the most casual G.I. Joe fan. I don't know about you. Well, I know about you, Hagen, but Dope. When I was growing up, that cartoon was on TV and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I still will find that 24-hour stream on YouTube and put that on sometimes with my son. And oh yeah, a lot of people in the chat grabbed that one. So what did you guys think? Because like I really liked it.
I'm a big Dreadnought fan. So
okay. and you Dope, you said you passed because you weren't big on the interior art?
The interior artwork I didn't think was as good as some of the other ones. I really wanted to read. I know the trade for Cobra Commander just came out. I'd like to read that.
Okay.
Everybody said it's great, and I know it's got the Dreadnoughts in it, and that'd be one I'd be interested in.
Yeah.
But I've heard bad things about Scarlet, so I haven't read the G.I. Joe one yet.
I haven't read any of it, but I did go ahead, and when I was at my LCS, I also picked up the Transformers, the first trade. I do like Daniel Warren Johnson's art a lot. I thought he was just the writer on this. I mean, again, I'm just not following like any of this stuff, but Robert Kirkman, Invincible, Walking Dead, he's kind of overseeing. It's his imprint, Skybound, I think it's called. But he's the one that's overseeing the Energon universe, and I don't know, man. I'm pretty impressed. I'm not saying I'm going to grab every title they're doing.
I love everything about what Image is doing right now. The Ghost Machine, they're kicking on all cylinders. You know, Skybound, Ghost Machine, regular Image.
Right, that's what I hear, and I want to pick up. I mean, I'm going to pick some of those up in trade, or at least read them in trade from the library. I get a lot of stuff from the library. And then, okay, Eric, he's another 80s kid, so I trust his opinion on Joe. But yeah, he says Scarlet and Destro were meh, but the other two were good. And Void Rivals, Christopher Parker says. Yeah, I mean, those are all like, yeah, those are all books that I have heard nothing but good things about, but I can't collect them all. So some of this stuff I just wait till it's trade and I can pick it up at my local LCS. So I went digging with my friend Eric last weekend. We went to 3 different places. We went to a Half Price Books. We went to a toy store that has a ton of comic books. And then, God, where's the third place we went? I don't remember. We went bumming around. And I found this and I thought of you, Hagen. So here is the Nightwing cover for the meme Super Hot Fire.
Absolutely. I own that.
So you own this one?
That is the only DC book that I have ever pulled, with the exception of Nice House by the Sea.
This is there were several of there's several Nightwing covers that are great, and I will argue that like Nightwing is one of the best Batman books ever written. Like Tom Taylor's run is so good, which again I've read in trade, and maybe that's why I like it more, because I get to experience more of the story. But I saw this for $1, and this was instant buy just to have to put on my cabinet back here, because it's time to swap the Ferret out.
Well, you can't have something too serious that goes in the place of the Ferret. It's got to be something,
That's right. Hey, Jonathan. Steve Driscoll showed something when he was on Matt's channel, and I got the FOMO for that, so I ordered it off eBay. I didn't know this existed. Silver Surfer Superman #1, where the enemies are the Impossible Man and Mr. Mxyzptlk. And this has art by Ron Lim and George Perez. Like, it's just a wild combo of everything, in my opinion. So when I heard that this was out, I was like, or when I heard this existed, I started looking, and I got this for a pretty fair price, being a Superman fan. And I do think Silver Surfer's weird. So Hagen's favorite name in comics is the artist Dick Sprang. And Dick Sprang did, he's kind of a golden age artist, and this is some detectives. He did like 3 detective covers that were very odd. He didn't do the interior art, he just did the covers. And this was one I didn't have, and again, found it for $1, could not turn that one down. I talked about this one, I think, Dope, when you were on the last Hangout with me, and I didn't have the #1, so I went ahead and pulled it because holy cow, body horror, sci-fi, great art, wild. I think you would dig this book. This is Skin Police from Oni Press. It's the story of they're called the Skin Police, but they're police who are chasing down illegal clones in the future. Like, people who were clones end up going insane. So these guys chase them down. 2 issues so far. It's been good. And the art, it reminds me of like Jeff Darrow, Hard Boiled, not as detailed, not that good, but it has that feel to it. And I love a good dystopian sci-fi. And I'm gonna show.
Skin Police is the rejected title for the movie Super Troopers.
Is it really?
No, absolutely.
Okay. That sounded right. The last one I'll show before I'll let someone else show some books, because I do have some more, but this one was a total title buy. I didn't know anything about it. And then I found it. There's 5 issues. I was only able to get the first 3, so I got to chase the rest down. I did read the first issue. It was a lot of fun. It's called The Man Who Fucked Up Time. And like the first page is literally like, the first thing they tell you is you can't fuck up time. And well, and it's pretty good. So I found 3 issues. The art is good. It's Aftershock is the name of the comic book company. I'd never heard of this company or this title.
Yeah, they were big probably about 5 years ago.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. It's about like 5-6 years old, and I really liked this one. It was odd. Yeah, so that's that's my normie pile for right now. I got some I got some weird stuff for later.
Well, the Man Who Fucked Up Time made it into my show notes. So
yeah. I think I paid $1.50 for both, for each issue. Half price books just is crazy for that. Let's see. Nate, I saw your latest video regarding that Earth's End book you showed. There's also a Superman at Earth's End. Believe it or not, I think I have that in the box down here. I know I have that one. That one is weird. So that must go with the Commandi, like that Elseworlds thing. Dope. Do you have any books you brought to show tonight and talk about?
Yeah, I got 2 or 3 little stacks laying right here.
Cool.
First thing I'm gonna show you start with the modern book I picked up this week that sucked the worst that I read.
Yes.
The worst reading book all week.
I love your rage.
I've not seen any reviews anywhere on eBay or nowhere on YouTube. Nobody's read Combat Nurse. Combat Nurse is terrible.
No,
I don't know why I thought it'd be great, but
because it's a great title.
you got this woman, and she's, you know, when the top surgeon in the world gets taken hostage by these assassins, Combat Nurse has to save him. And it just really wasn't near as I thought it would be a lot better than it was, but nobody's reading Combat Nurse, and I probably won't be picking up part 2 of Combat Nurse. So
I mean, I really, because you compared it to, like, you know, just you were talking about Lady Cop and
Night Nurse.
And Night Nurse. Yeah. I mean, damn it. That's a shame. That's a shame.
That was a lot to live up to, you know?
It really was.
And then I was looking around over here, and I've been collecting, you know, Spider-Man for a long, long time. But I thought I'd show my very first Spider-Man. Nobody ever seen has this copy. I'm sure they do, but I really appreciate it. Nobody has the first appearance of Banjo, the hillbilly. So he comes from the Appalachian Mountains of Pennsylvania. And it says right here, his name is Banjo, and he does not like to be picked on. So don't pick on Banjo. And this is his
horrible.
Right here is his hillbilly brother. His name's Bug-Eye. And this is also the first appearance of Bug-Eye. So when you get the new movie coming out before long, and you're going to see this guy's going to be under, this book's going to shoot up in price. This is going to be the next one. So
is that the only appearance of Banjo? I have to
Only
wonder.
one I've ever seen. Spider-Man, for some reason, decides to go to the Appalachian Mountains, and they asked him to leave nicely, and he didn't leave, so trouble broke loose. So, you know, it's really just good people up in the mountains, and you know, Banjo just don't like to be picked on. So
that's great. And David, I love that you have that. Of course you do.
That's amazing. What issue is that? I'm asking for a friend.
This is Spectacular Spider-Man number 156. The first appearance of Banjo.
Banjo's getting added to a lot of lists tonight.
Oh yeah, that's going to be on Comic Tom's spec list for sure.
You know, if he's ever one of these new movies coming out, you know, watch out.
Oh, that's good.
Go get your 9.8 of Banjo while you can. And the other thing I thought I'd show, since we show a lot of weird stuff on this channel, we got to talk about the weirdest series ever made in DC history. The weirdest title of all time. I don't know if y'all have any of the DC First series, but the whole series.
Oh, yes.
Danger Street's based on it. I don't know if y'all read Danger Street.
Yes.
But the whole series is a bunch of first issues. And the very first one was Atlas, which some of these it says it's the first issue, but it's not their first issue. But everyone's a different one. So we got Atlas. We got issue 2 was the Green Team. I don't know how that didn't take off.
It's so bad.
Got Metamorpho.
I have that one.
We got Lady Cop. We talking about Lady Cop.
I don't have Lady Cop, and I need it in my life.
Yeah, this is the most valuable one of the bunch. We got number 5 here, Manhunter. And I think
that's Kirby. Yeah.
And we got Dingbats.
I've got that one somewhere. It's so bad.
And that's where the Danger Street name came from. If you've read, I think that was Tom King, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Danger Street.
Tom King.
You can look on YouTube, and there you just type in Danger Street, and he's sitting around and he's thinking he's looking for something to inspire him, and he finds these books, and he said, "I'm going to create a whole universe where all these guys are in one universe," and it was a pretty neat 12 issues. Creeper.
Yep, I don't have that one.
Anything with Creeper and the Dingbat. And I know you got to have this one. This is the one you'd love.
I have that one. Oh, yeah.
We got old Warlord.
Which is his actual first appearance. Yeah. That's a first issue for reals.
And here's one that's not a first issue. Here is Dr. Fate.
Right. And I don't have that one, but you know what? I might have that one.
But this is a fun little series to collect if you want something really weird. And read Danger Street, because I really enjoyed it. It's funny seeing all these people in one world fighting each other and living together. So, and
I think if I remember right, the story of First Issue Special was it was one of the ways that DC lured Jack Kirby over. So they just kind of gave him free reign. He created all of these books thinking, one of them's going to take off. Like I'm going to be able to, have it ongoing.
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about. I heard Vertigo's coming back. I don't know if you heard that or not. And it's going to be create-own series, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I would like to see them bring back the DC first issue type thing. Let's have 12 issues where these people, these young artists, these young writers create brand new characters. And maybe halfway through the year, you can vote on them and we get maybe some real series with some of them. But I love buying first issues and stuff, just weird stuff like that. I wish they had something like that still.
And I think like in particular 90s Vertigo, you had reimaginings of things like Shade, the Changing Man, Brother Power the Geek had a 90s reinvention, Prez had a night, like they took all these weird 70s DC properties and tried to put a new spin on them. And I don't think hardly any of them worked, but they were like Vertigo was one of the most interesting things to read in the 90s. It was a place where I feel like the writers and the artists took risks.
Yeah. There was another little DC line that came out. I can't remember what it was called, but you had the Shock. What's the little dude with the shocking powers? I can't remember his name.
Static Shock. Yeah.
Yeah. They had a whole line of Hardware, I think was another one.
Yep. Icon, the whole, what was it? Milestone?
Milestone might be it. Yeah.
And
but
so,
bring back something like that.
Yeah. To argue in DC's favor, they're trying with their absolute line, sort of. I mean, they're trying to do something different, but they're not doing something different. They're just doing the same characters.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that because I think that one of the what I'm thinking about in particular is Spider-Man right now because that's the Marvel wheelhouse is my wheelhouse, and a lot of the complaints that people have about Spider-Man is that like he's not an old character, but I mean he's from the Silver Age and he's kind of stayed the same for years and years and years. And editorial has said that like I saw something today where they said like Spider-Man can date Mary Jane, but they can't actually get married because you have to put your toys back in the box when you're done playing with them. And that leads to new artists and new writers wanting to come on and do something new and do something different, but they're only being given established characters to do that with. And when you do something new and do something different, it can be off-putting if you don't get the time to acclimate to it. And then when you have to wipe away all of that in 2 or 3 issues, like that can be jarring too. So you've got this this decompression going on with comic book readers. And the thing that I like about like Static and like Black Label and Vertigo is that you have the opportunity to have the backing of these big companies. You have the opportunity to let these very, very talented artists and writers sort of, flex their muscles, but it's sort of insulated from these characters that people have such strong opinions about. And like it can work. Like Superior Spider-Man, people hated it first, and now it's sort of come back around. But nobody's ever going to like One More Day. Nobody's ever going to like, Zeb Wells' recent run. I like when big companies let artists take risks in that way.
Well,
that's why I
go ahead.
That's why I felt about James Gunn. I felt like Marvel and DC wouldn't give him the big guys and let him kill them off, but he gave him all these little guys, and he made Guardians of the Galaxy great. He took a bunch of nobodies that they probably didn't care if he killed any of them off, and he made them big time. And the same thing that's the reason I like a Suicide Squad, because you never know who's going to die and who's going to live. And, they won't do that with Batman or Superman or nothing like that.
No. So. And that's, I think you do the same thing, Dope, where we gravitate towards C, D, E, F characters because those are the ones that somebody's going to do something with. And even when and I know, Tom King, that some people go one way or another with him. I actually really like him. His run on Batman was really good. And he was going to marry Batman and Selena and do, but like Hagen said, editorial's like, no, you're leaving. We're putting the toys back in the box. And they didn't used to do that. Like when I think back to the late 80s and early 90s, when I started reading comics, Batman had Dick Grayson, who used to be the Robin that grew up and became the leader of the Teen Titans and then became his own hero. And then there's a second Robin and then a third Robin. Like there was this continuity where all these big changes had happened, but it didn't change like the book. It enriched the universe. And it seems like they've lost that narrative where they can have a history that they can fall back on, that these things happen. It's like they're afraid that the audience just has too much ADHD memory, that we're not gonna, if we can't pick it up and know what's happening in issue 1, there's that people aren't gonna buy it. And maybe that's true, I don't know, but it's just like, I mean, when I was reading Detective Comics in the 80s and 90s, it was like issue 500s. I didn't feel like I had to go back and collect them all to know what was happening.
I think that's how it was with we talking about Danger Street. A couple of them died right at the beginning, and we liked that. Yes. Or if you watch Game of Thrones, there's people getting killed at the very beginning of it. Every show you're like, oh man, the main guy just died. Who now?
Right.
Or Walking Dead. First of Walking Dead, every week somebody would die. And
yeah. And, to go back to Hagen said Black Label. So I've been picking up Ginny Sparks, which I do like the Authority, which, kind of was its own thing from the Wildstorm universe that DC had. Again, something they could do risky storytelling with. Mark Miller and Warren Ellis did a lot of the writing on this. And I am not a big fan of what he's doing with Captain Atom in this, who's a character that I like a lot, but I do like that they're doing something with him and they're doing something different. And I've heard that this is within continuity. I've heard that it's not. And again, I could go down a rabbit hole with this and talk about the things I don't like and the things I do. Like, why is she Ginny Sparks and not Ginny Quantum? The way her character works is she lives for a century. She's born on the 100 and she dies on the 99. And when she is resurrected, she's the new spirit of that century. So I don't know why she's Ginny Sparks when she was Ginny Sparks before. She should be like something else. Like Sparks makes sense for the industrial age. She should be changed. But again, like those Black Label books are kind of what DC did before they decided we're bringing back Vertigo. So they have released some Vertigo books too, right? Hasn't something been on the stands that's a Vertigo book already?
I'm not for sure. I mean, I remember the classic Sandman stuff, and they're always bringing it back.
But I think, what'd you say, the House by the Sea, Hagen? I think the latest issue of that has come out and been a Vertigo title.
Is it? I don't know. It's waiting for me in my pull box right now. So I haven't actually been able to pick that one up. But yeah,
she's definitely tank top girl.
And you're
talking, she's always wearing tank top.
Yeah, and you're talking Black Label. The best thing I'm reading right now is Plastic Man. So
it's so good.
It's another DC list guy. They can do it.
Right. But they're doing the thing I think I really like about that, besides him, is what they're doing in that book with the big heroes. The way that they are showing how marginalized a minor hero like him is. Like they have all their big plans and they have their trio that does the talking, and he's just at the kids' table all the time. Like, you see why he feels like he's not taken seriously, because he's not. That new Plastic Man book is so good. That author, Christopher Cantwell, he is a good writer. He's had a couple of things that I've really enjoyed.
It's like a real story. I mean, it's the guy basically has cancer.
Right.
And it's like he goes to work and all of these people in the cubicles are talking, making fun of him. He don't exist. He's probably a salesman or something in real life. And then his kids don't want nothing to do with him. I mean, it's pretty, it hits a lot of people close to home,
Yeah. There's a lot to relate to, and it's the way he's written is very shades of gray. Like, he's doing what he thinks is the right thing, even if it's the wrong thing. And I'm with you, man. This is one of my favorite books right now. I cannot recommend Plastic Man no more enough.
And it really don't have nothing to do with Plastic Man. It's kind of like the first Joker movie came out a couple years ago. You could call that you could put any superhero in it and it worked right because of the story.
You're right. Yeah, it's a good story.
Of all of the DC heroes that I am familiar with, Plastic Man is the one that is most attractive to me. Because my only interactions with him have been from what I read in Injustice and what I saw in, I don't think it was in the Injustice video games, but from what I read in Injustice. And I like the fact that I like his power set, even though I can't stand Mr. Fantastic. I love Plastic Man's power set because he's he's just goofy with it.
Yeah.
And those characters can be hilarious 95% of the time, but that other 5% of the time, they can just it comes out of nowhere and they just hit you so hard. And those are ones that I'm really, really intrigued by. So he's definitely, I wrote down New Plastic Man because I'm pretty much dead set on
to help sell it even a little more. Like, I think the expression on his face here, it's not just about the 90% goofiness. Like, I think the thing that's underneath is extreme pain. He's like, he's a stand-up comedian. You know, stand-up comedians are the most traumatized people in the world. They hide so much pain through their laughter and goofiness. And I think that's what, you know, a big vein of this is how damaged he is.
Yeah, in that book right there, he's got some kind of something. It's similar to cancer, and he's dying, and there's no cure for it. And so his son, which also is a plastic man, has the same cells. So he's worried about his son now, but he's been a deadbeat dad for 18 years, and his son ain't been in his life. So he tries to go back and make up with his son, and his son don't want nothing to do with him. His work treats him like crap. It's just it's a good story.
It's a good story. So I saw David from Still Only 35 Cents hop on. Hello from the other side of the planet, my friend. And I have to call Richard out and say, you are not a bad mod at all. I don't know what you're talking about. You're like one of my favorite people ever. And that goes for most of the people here. You're one of our favorite people ever. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here when you can, buddy. That goes for everybody. Hagen, did you have anything you wanted to show tonight, or do you want to like just keep going?
I am content to just keep going. Just to explain to everybody, my hometown got hit by a hurricane, and my comic book money has been put towards living money for the time being, because I have to be a responsible adult. It's just the cross that I'm forced to bear. But my local comic book store is having a Black Friday sale next week, and payday is next Friday. So sweet. I'm anticipating a hell of a good time there. But for now, I'm content to just be a peanut gallery and hang out with you guys and talk to the people in chat.
How's your area right now? Is it back up to 80%, 70%, 50%?
I think we crossed the 80 or 90% threshold. I know that there are still some people that have intermittent power issues. Wow. There are. Yeah, it's mostly in the more rural areas of my already rural county. But for the most part, everybody has access to the resources that they need. We were relatively lucky. We weren't hit like the folks in Western North Carolina were hit. Because they were dealing with mostly flooding. We were dealing with mostly down trees and stuff. So, we counted our blessings, but it was the worst storm that my city's ever been hit by. And I spoke with people that lived through Hugo about that, and they agreed with me. So, yeah, it was a spooky one, but me and mine and most of us down here are all safe. So, everybody that reached out to me about it, I was super, super flattered about everybody checking in on me. That was really, really nice. But I didn't want to be a Debbie Downer. I just don't have comic books. You know, what a horrible fate for, you know, the past month and a half ish.
Yeah, but
it's not like I don't have a giant backlog to work through or anything.
But we still have you to hang out with, and that's what we want, brother. I am glad you're here, and I'm glad things are getting back to normal. A couple of the stores, one of the toy stores I went to this last weekend with my buddy, they kept handing, oh, that's it. We went to 2 toy stores, and they're both doing Black Friday sales. And I'm like, you know, what am I going to do? I guess I'm going to go to 2 places on Small Business Saturday. One place is doing anything they've got in their bins, they're going to do for $1. Like because they're not a comic book store, but they've got some stuff that's priced at like, you know, 10 or 15 bucks. So I'm definitely going to go hit there because there were a couple of things I wanted. All right, I got to show off a couple goofy ones, I think, just because that's kind of the thing that we do around here. First, though, this one's not really goofy. This one's kind of cool. And I think David from Still Only 35 Cents would know more about it than I do. I know it's connected to Judge Dredd, and I know I'm also going to say it wrong. I think it's Strontium Dog. So this is some kind of Judge Dredd or 2000 AD type of character. And I got 2 different issue number 1s for $1.50 each. I don't know what they are, but they have that that quintessential Judge Dredd English underground art. So I was really excited to get these because this is something that I see advertised in Judge Dredds when I pick them up. And I know Hagen and I both pick up. These are from, so this one here, yeah, they're both from Quality. So I like to get the ones from Quality, and but I don't know anything about the character. I don't know how he's connected to Judge Dredd or where he fits in the universe, if it's just his own universe. But like I said, I'd seen it before and I really wanted to check it out. This I saw Alan, the comic collector geek, show off, and I had to have it. So this is from New England Comics, the company that publishes The Tick, and this is Anti-Hitler Comics, and this reprints Golden Age comics that are anti-Hitler. So like I've read the first, I mean, look at that. I mean, it's just, Golden Age art and storytelling is so hit and miss. And so, hey, welcome, Eric. There's Eric from SideQuest Comics. This first one that I read, I got to remember what the character's name is. Okay. His name is Futuro, and he kidnaps Hitler, and he keeps talking about how he's invisible, but he's clearly not invisible. Like, they didn't do anything to like outline him or make him, in a comic book, when somebody's invisible, they're like a dotted line or something, but he's just like standing there and out loud saying all the time, like, I am invisible and cannot be seen. Like, that's his superpower. I don't think they understood how superpowers worked, how the artwork part of that would work. This was a lot of fun. And this is from like 1992. So it's when it's a little oversized. New England Comics always did oversized books. I'm also like, I will find something that I think is funny for a joke and I buy it, and then now I'm invested, right? So this is the annual for Amethyst, Princess of Gem World, #1.
Oh yeah.
Shut up, Eric. I'm in for the long haul. There's a 12-issue maxi series. There's an ongoing series.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm into this. It's very Shazam. Like she's a young girl, like she's 13 in our world, but when she goes to the gym world, she's an older girl.
The colors remind me of that Crystar series is what it reminds me of.
Yeah, Crystar was unreadable. I did not like that at all. This I jammed on. Another one that I picked up hold on. David given the knowledge. Strontium Dog started in 2000 AD adjacent book, Star-Lord, before they merged after 20 issues. Great book and pickups. I'm glad to hear that.
I found all those at a used bookstore, actually.
Cool.
Too. So
Scavengers reprints dinosaur theme stories. I'm sold there. Okay. Another one that I picked up that I was like, this is stupid, is Archie 3000. It's Archie in Archie comics in the year 3000. I don't know how you can't like read a goofy Archie story and be somewhat entertained, because it's just wholesome stupidity. But look at Archie, like the haircut of the future is the mullet. And so this has 3 classic style Archie stories. They just happen to take place in the year 3000. And I'm a little enamored with it.
It's absolutely possible that the mullet will have gone in and out of vogue about 100 times in the 1,000 years between now and then. So I don't think that's that out of the ordinary. I do think you're right. All right. I don't want to I've got so many, and I want to be able to give other people the floor, but I got a couple here that just really, this was a dream book. This is one of my body transformation, had it on the list for a long time and finally got it because when I saw it the first time, somebody wanted way too much. Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 27. This copy is beat up, but we've got Big Head Lois. And because she's ugly, Bizarro thinks she's beautiful, which I think is a hysterical cover.
So then after I got this off of, it was either eBay or a Whatnot sale. I know I got it cheap and it's in bad shape, but it was a really fun read. Then I find at Half Price Books this variant cover.
That's cool.
For New 52 Superman that also has the big head Flash in the background. This was part of the Flash 75th anniversary. This was just like all my worlds converged. I was standing at that Half Price bin for $1.50. Like, holy crap.
It's got a conehead feel to it.
Right? I love it. I love it.
Could you briefly explain why Bizarro's S isn't backwards on both of those?
Yeah, I noticed that too, Hagen.
Oh,
they messed that up on both covers.
They did. Well, I bet they messed it up on purpose on the variant because they did it. I wonder if maybe this one, I mean, this is an older book. Was it always backwards, even in the oldest ones? I feel like it was.
I am the wrong person to ask. I just know that about that character.
Yeah.
So
no, good. I didn't even pick it up. You're right. That's we need to write a strongly worded letter.
What, 1960?
Yeah, we do need a time machine. All right. I'm going to go through a couple weird ones. I'm going to end with my weirdest and then I'm going to hand it off. All right. So the first one, it's got a sticker on the cover. God, I hate that, but had to have it. This is the Legends of Elfenwild.
Oh,
the Legends.
He looks like a smooth operator.
Yeah, he's tough.
Yeah. I don't know. It's independent. This guy is smarmy. He's got the way of the forest about him. This is a legend I needed to know, a legend I needed to read about.
It's going to be one of the greatest stories you've ever read, and there's not going to be a part 2.
It'll break my heart.
Who is the publisher of that?
The publisher of the Legends of Elfenwild is Werner, Wener, Wehner. Wiener. And yeah, I don't know, man.
It could be Wiener. It might be Wiener. I hope it's Wiener.
We will see you, K Munin. Thanks for being here, buddy. Okay, and then the next one, another weirdo independent one, is to go with the Legends of Elfenwind is Mythos. Just another like 70s mustache guy. Wonder Comics, Madness, and Magic. For $1, couldn't pass it up. The interior art is worse than this. The next one, I found like a lot of this weird fantasy stuff. The art on this one, though, is glorious. Just don't look too close. So this is Adventurers.
Whoa.
Ooh, okay.
Kind of has a Fabio look, but
right?
I look like Hulk Hogan with hair.
I found 3 of these, and this was the best one to show.
Is he holding the sword by the blade?
I think so. Yeah, that's what I wondered too. Like,
that's how serious he is.
And if you really look at their proportions, it's bad. Like, it's Liefeldian. It's bad. So wow. Adventurers was again another pickup. And then 2 more. This one made me laugh so hard when I saw it, and then I went a little deeper and it got even funnier. So this is Action Lab, the Dog of Wonder, #1. It's a dog with a jetpack. This is the coloring book cover variant. Ooh. Drawn by Neil Adams.
Okay.
So
wow.
Yeah, it was a lot to digest. So Action Lab was a publishing company. And then they decided that their mascot needed his own comic book, and somehow this variant became something that happened. I've seen this cover, like I saw it when I looked this up to see what the hell it was. I found this cover and it's just in color. It's a Neil Adams, a later Neil Adams cover, but there's his signature right there.
Black and white.
I wonder how many he signed at cons and stuff.
Yeah, I have no idea, but a Neil Adams coloring book variant. All right, this is my find of the week. This one stopped me dead for a minute. I still don't know what the hell it is. So this is Brewhead, America's favorite blockhead.
What?
Yeah. I just drink it in. Just
Wow.
look at this. And I thought, is it foreign? Like, is that German? Is Brewhead, like, is that something? I don't
could hear German heavy metal with this, I
Right.
guess,
in the interior. He's, it's very like late 80s. Like, there's not a lot of story here. But he is the main character, and he's just like got this big head, and his name is Brewhead.
Don't show his origin, how he got the head or nothing.
No. It just starts with him sitting at his apartment, wanting to eat pizza, watch sports, and hit on women. And
He's
throughout,
just like me, for real.
like classic, independent stuff happens. Like, not well written events, just kind of cascade. And at
that
the
looks
end,
like it has a lot of dialogue.
it's a ton. It took forever to read this, and I was like, is this ever going to be over? Because it wasn't the best. And this is like, look at that. That's a painted cover of this guy.
That original artwork is probably worth a fortune.
He's so at the end, because as if all of those words weren't enough, then the writer also writes all this stuff. Yeah. And I read through, and that's not it. There's like 3 pages of this. So there's this one, and then he's got like some like, I don't know if this is like strips from his college newspaper when he created Brewhead. And then there's even more back here. He goes into, they had a couple of like contests where you could win this cover, the original painted cover. So it's probably out there somewhere. If anyone ever finds the original art for Brewhead, good Lord, let me know. I'll pay almost any price. So, I mean, that's not everything I got this week, but that's the weird stuff and the fun stuff. So let's see. Dave, I saw someone said Nightcat. So to let you know, David, so David still on 35 cents. You check out his channel. I sent him an AOK where I sent him the cassette, the album that Nightcat recorded, and the comic. And since then, Hagen found, what did you find, my friend? Because it's amazing.
We found it was an EP, right? It was a Nightcat EP of I forget the name of the song, but it's only available for purchase like from Europe, England, I think, on eBay. And the last, I'm brokenhearted because I don't think I told you this. The last sold one in the US was for $15 shipped. And it sold like 4 days before we looked it up.
And this is now I have looked for the Nightcat vinyl record for so long, like ever since I heard about it. But the problem was I didn't know what to look for. So it's called Number One House Rule. Like he said, it's only one song. And apparently it was kind of a hit in European discos because there's like 20 copies on eBay right now, but you got to get them shipped from Germany or from London. And that ain't my jam right now, not for the price and the international shipping, that's for sure. But yeah, to find out that I could have got one here in the States for $15. I mean, I've paid $20 or $30 for a vinyl record before. It's Son of Crom and Steven. Hey guys, thanks for being here. So yeah, so I don't know if you knew that, David, but yeah, and you might find it out there. Excuse me, you might be able to find it in Australia. I'm really not sure. Yeah, we're all still searching for that Nightcat t-shirt. I don't think they were released either. I mean, according to the Malibu comics, there are Ferret and Protector t-shirts out there too. I mean, I think when it comes right down to it, we should just be happy that we live in a time where we can get these made ourselves. And that's going to be the Christmas gift I give myself. It's getting some custom t-shirts made. Eric,
fan art of the Ferret and Nightcat fighting crime back to back.
And Steven looked too. I love that we get someone of his caliber looking for Nightcat. It's one of the most extensive Golden Age collections I've ever seen. And I've got you looking for
dragged him down to our level.
We've changed the industry.
All right.
Oh, be
I am
safe,
gonna
Tom.
start
Be
with
safe.
one new book. Most of the stuff I have, I actually picked through my last 2 weeks of me going to shows and stuff. I found some interesting books, but for new books, this is probably one of my nonsense books for new. I've always been a fan of Gru, and it's Dark Horse that's putting out. I think it's going to be only 4 issues, but yeah, it's a typical nonsense of Gru. Him going to a town and just causing havoc. So,
but I love that Sergio Aragonés is still out there, man.
Yeah,
still out there doing art, and it looks great. It's still just like his old stuff.
And then so recently I featured this in one of my videos. It's Tales of the Green Lantern. It's a Tangent Comics series. Now, I did not know this was a thing in the 90s where they did all these one-offs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was lucky enough to find a dollar bin that had the Joker.
Cool. I've never seen that one.
Flash.
I've seen that one. She's very
And
dazzler.
So
cool.
For $1, I'm going to get them for the collection. I haven't looked up to see what else is out there. I don't think Tangent Comics did a whole lot like some of these other alternate world titles.
I feel like it was a lot of one-shots. I remember there was a Superman one.
Yeah, I think there was. And then, going along with that one, I showed this one earlier this week.
Yeah.
Now, I've fallen in love with these one-shots, this little mashup of Marvel and DC. Well, I was lucky enough that one of my local stores, just talking about it, said, yeah, I'm starting to collect all these weird, small runs, I guess, because they're a little bit more attainable. And he goes, wait a second. He goes and he grabs a short box. And I start going through it. And he had almost everything in there that I needed. Some I've never even seen. Assassins I've never seen.
I've never seen that one.
Challengers of the Fantastic.
That one's cool. Cover. Yeah.
We got Super Soldier.
Yep.
Now I know they made a second one with this character.
Yeah, they did. It was still a #1, but it was the opposite. So it was like DC did one and Marvel did one.
Yeah,
or something like that.
So there's a couple I still have to find for these. Amazon. This one I like. I just like the title because it rolls off the tongue. Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And then Spider-Boy. I know there's a second one for Spider-Boy that I got tracked down. And the one that I absolutely probably started this quest, because that other one I've had for a while, the Magneto one, because I love Magneto. I had to track this one down.
Mm-hmm.
That is one I've literally never seen that one in the wild. I remember
think this is
that
one of the more popular ones next to the Spider-Boy one and Dark Claw, of course.
Yes.
So there's that stack. Now, just this Sunday, I found some really cool stuff. I'm going to show you this one because the cover just made me laugh, so I had to get it, of Lex and Brainiac teaming up, and they beat down Superman. Their dialogue cracks me up on a lot of these comics. That's why I get them, because I read it and then I laugh in the store and say, "Oh, I gotta have this book."
Yeah, man.
I think I've showed this one. This one I just discovered is a thing, and I am hitting all the sites I know hard trying to find this. I found full sets on eBay, but I don't know if I'm willing to spend what they want. For a full run, they're talking hundreds. So I'm like, I just want to read it.
Do you know how many issues?
It's 36 issues, I think.
Oh.
So it wasn't super long. That's attainable. It's just a matter of finding them because it was from, was it 2016? I think it came out. So, but yeah, I read this one. I was hooked. I was like, oh, they're doing what I've always dreamed of them doing with the Scooby Gang. So,
a lot of those
featured on a video.
That's cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
This one?
I do like that one.
This one is another one. It took me a while to find in the wild, and for $15, I was okay with that. This cover, it just cracks me up. This villain has always made me snicker a little bit. I mean, for one, they say he's a human killer whale, but isn't he Atlantean? So he's not technically human. He's merfolk or Atlantean or whatever they call themselves. But yeah, this is his first appearance too. So, and for $6, yeah, I'll get it.
Orca.
Definitely thought that said coming of Okra at first.
Oh, and here's another. Speaking of Submariner, this one I got because the cover is really cool looking. And then when I read the story, I was like, this is ridiculous. He defeats the villain by pulling up an oil pipe in the sea and setting it ablaze and turning it on the villain. I'm like, if that isn't, save the planet.
This Marvel comic brought to you by Exxon.
There's a nice little dollar sign. I think it says $2, but I only paid $1 for Double Dragon. Love the video game. Yeah. Not a fan of the cartoon, the movie, the whatever.
I was about to say, how about that movie starring the Party of Five kid?
Yeah, it was Party of Five, and I can't remember who the other guy was.
I don't either.
But I loved the game when it first came out. And then I got a couple more here. And this kind of goes into the category of I didn't know these existed. I must have them.
Yes. That's the theme of every show here, I feel like.
Okay. And my wife wasn't excited about these next two I'm going to show because she absolutely hates this theme. And I am fascinated by it. And it is apes with guns. Yeah. I did not know this existed. And I love this property. Especially the original 70s stuff because those masks were so bad. But I've been into collecting these big magazines in the last 6 months. And when I just recently found out they did this, I was like, oh my God, how many are there? Where are they? I need them. This dealer I found these at had number one. It was like $70. I'm like, I don't need it that bad. But now it's on my list. I know what to hunt for it. I just love this cover. That's the iconic Planet of the Apes. You got the Statue of Liberty and the beach, and I can see Charlton Heston yelling at them. Damn you!
That's painted. That's beautiful.
And then this one I got because of the second movie. But you got your human mutants underneath Manhattan using their mind powers, and the apes are all trembling in fear, even though they got guns. Is
that the bomb in the background that they worship?
I think that's supposed to be the bomb in the background.
Yes.
The sacred bomb.
Yes.
So, yeah, this series, I think, went about 25, 26 issues, I think. So I am on the hunt for Planet of the Apes. And then this one, I got two more. I forgot. This one, another one I did not know existed. I was talking to the dealer.
Movie right there. I love that movie.
He said this was only available in video stores by Miramax. So I was like, yeah. So it was the first time I've ever seen this. And I'm just like, look at Jean-Claude. He's ripped.
Oh, it's so good.
I can see your beard growing as you hold that book.
It just makes you more manly.
Yeah.
Wow. I never knew that existed. That is cool.
I know. I loved this movie when it came out, and I'm not too proud to say I saw it in the theater when it came out.
It's okay. Early Van Damme, we all saw in the theater.
Oh yeah. All right. Now this one's probably my most ridiculous one in the pile here. And this is by Scout Comics. It is Mullet Cop, the Flavor of Danger.
Get the hell out of here. Mullet Cop, the Flavor of Danger.
This just blew me away. When I look at it, he's on a Segway.
It looks like an all-terrain Segway.
Hell
with
yes.
missile launchers.
Hell yes.
I love the art in this too. It's very stylistic. And the villains
what is happening?
Look at his mullet. Wow, man.
Let me see if I can find a real good picture of him.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, here. Look at this guy. I think is this his boss? I can't remember. Look at
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's just, yeah.
I've had it up to here with you, mullet cop.
Yeah, I think the whole
I want
story.
your badge, your gun, and your holding spray.
I mean, I think they're raiding the mall. It's what's going on.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is a great
man.
find. Great find.
You got to see if there's any more.
It's on the list. I'll be seeing what I can find here soon. It looks, I mean, it looks like an Adult Swim like pilot, you know.
It totally does.
Kind of
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just the style of it's very stylized and it's ridiculous, which we all love. And then at the end of the story, all saved and they all share slushies.
Nice little freeze frame.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
So yeah,
that is great.
Mullet Cop flavor of danger.
Thank you
That's
for bringing that.
Again?
This came out. Let's see. I looked at it. 2022. So it's fairly recent.
Wow. Okay. Who's the publisher?
Scout Comics.
Scout Comics.
On the back they say scoutcomics.com. I don't know if that still exists, but
sure.
If it does, I'm buying stock in it.
Oh, that's good stuff. Thank you, Eric. I love it, buddy. Dope. You got anything else you want to show tonight?
I got one more book I'm going to show.
Okay.
We was talking about loving C and D list villains and stuff, and I grabbed this one just because you were just talking about Hitler. Here is, have y'all ever seen the Hate Monger? This is the first appearance of the Hate Monger. So this is very Scooby-Doo-ish. If you look at this issue, they take the hood off of him at the very end, and it's Hitler under there. So it was it's a Fantastic Four fighting Hitler the whole issue. So
wow. Somewhere I have the Fantastic Four where they I think it's right here. What luck. I have the Fantastic Four where they go back in time and they are trying to decide whether or not they should kill Hitler because it would change. So the Fantastic Four, Nick Fury goes back in time to kill Hitler, and the Fantastic Four has to go back in time to stop him. Which this was one I just bought, but man, it's kind of weird that the Fantastic Four had a lot of Hitler crossovers there.
And Invaders, the series Invaders has a lot of Hitler covers too. I mean, that's just a great series. If you like kind of that old school Captain America, Human Torch, and that original, superheroes from that time era, they have stuff on there of like Frankenstein worked for the SS. He's in a Nazi uniform, or they have, I think, a two-parter where Hitler tricks Thor into thinking the invaders are the bad guys.
Well, I mean, the invaders make sense. That was the time period they were in. Yeah. He was the villain to fight. I'm going to show two things. One's a comic that was a good find, and the other is something that I just wanted to share with people like you. It has nothing to do with comics. It is just nuts. So this is just a comic book. Rocketeer issue 2. This is one of my favorite Dave Stevens covers. I love the Rocketeer movie. Like, I have such fond memories of that movie. I got this for $1. This was in a dollar bin. I couldn't believe it. It's got a
great cover.
It's a great cover. It's got a Steve Ditko backup story. It's not in bad shape at all. For $1, I couldn't wait to get this. What I think this is the best way to close out this show is to share some ridiculousness. So my wife just got a new job. She was looking for some things to get for her coworkers to say goodbye. And this is one of the things that she was like, I don't know if this is right. Like, it's my sense of humor. And I was like, you know what? Don't get that for them, but you better get that for me. Gentlemen, crap taxidermy.
Oh my God.
So I marked a few choice.
I see the sticky notes. I see them.
I marked a few choice pages. So the first one is the first one I saw and couldn't stop laughing. It looks like the Country Bear Jamboree after one
Looks
mini
like he's had a little bit
moonshines.
too much moonshine.
Yeah, that was my thought exactly.
They pay thousands to go on a hunting trip, and that's what they got.
I don't know exactly what's going on with this guy.
Ooh.
Okay, so this one's not funny until I slide it over. So we've got a puffer fish, but then someone in China thought, well, why not puffer horse? This one really disturbs me.
Oh my God.
It makes me sad. It just goes on and on. Like, I mean, do you want a frog sitting in a chair with a pipe and a smoke?
Awesome. I like the frog.
That's
or
something.
Or the cowboy possum, or these rats playing poker. Like, this book is endless joy, and it does make you feel bad. Like, it makes you feel like you're contributing to some kind of animal abuse, but they were all dead.
They got to start somewhere, right?
And yeah, that's the other thing, is like, I feel like these crap taxidermists, they had to try something. Oh, good Lord. So how about this jaguar with his teeth into an ape's eye? Like, someone was trying to, create a nature scene, and they failed spectacularly.
Wow.
So yeah, HASS, we're going to leave too, because I've taken the air out of the room. Okay. One more. look at these guys. What are they?
That's Ewok concept art.
It's so bad. So, and I do think the cover's fantastic, man. Crap taxidermy by Katsu. Wow, that was.
Looks like he used a stick for that first one.
There's no. It's like they just put a log. They found a log and just wrapped a fox skin around it. Oh, look, they liked the frog so much they put him on the back cover. They're like, this will make people buy it. And made me buy it.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Oh, and yes, Matt, can you imagine the ones not used? Like, that was the cream of the crop. Boys, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for God, I mean, we're not even midweek. Like, that's the thing. Like, I just needed to vent and look at some comics and giggle. And so I really appreciate you guys jumping on and helping me do that. And everybody in the chat, so many of you guys have channels, and so many of your channels are channels I watch, and I appreciate you guys too. So Renegade, Steve Driscoll, Matt, all the people. I can't even scroll through because you guys were popping off so much. Richard, thanks for being here with your wrench, brother. Big Nasty Comics, I will never get tired of saying his name. Belazard and Steven Collecto6. If I missed your name, I'm sorry. But thank you, everybody, for being here in the chat. Thank you for watching us. Check out some books and talk, and we'll do it again soon. Next week, next Tuesday, same time, I'm doing Graphic Novel Book Club. So over Black Hole. And so that'll be next Tuesday with Ricky from All Sorts of Words, and David, the Garage Geek, is going to join me. And I think Hagen, I've already got you on board for December, but I haven't announced the book yet.
Okay, we just won't tell anyone.
We're not going to tell anybody, but you're going to be there for that one. So yeah, we're going to change that up. So thank you so much. Please subscribe to Eric at SideQuest Comics, and to Hagen and to Dope, and I will throw your guys' links in the description a little bit later. Don't run away or anything, but we're going to say goodbye, and we will see everybody next time. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.